I hope you guys had a wonderful day. And
Hey everybody, this is Katie with Huckleberry Gems. Hopefully, I'm streaming all over in all of the places. So, if you are part of a Facebook group and you have not given permission to StreamYard, pop up there in the description and give permission to StreamYard. Otherwise, I won't be able to see who you are, or your face, or your name, or help you along the way in those ways. Also, for me, I have set up a keyword. If you just pop link, the word link in the comments all over, it'll send you all of the links to my stuff. Hi, Marla. And mine, you get, hi, Facebook user, give StreamYard permission upstairs above me in the description. But so a little bit about me because I'm new to the jingle and mingle. Hi, everybody. Hi, Polly. Hi, Sherry. You guys are coming in hot. I am, my background is sewing. So Amy's, before the last Amy that just happened, was really interesting because I've never used a scan and cut before. I grew up, my mom and my grandmother used to sew clothes for J.C. Penney's way back in the day. So I grew up on a Kenmore machine with the knee instead of the foot pedal, it was the knee pedal. 5 kids, 6.5 grandkids, and most of them, 3 of them are gone out on their own. And so now I am getting back to me. So this was the whole point of the reason I started Huckleberry Gems, was to enjoy stuff for me and to be able to share it with everybody around me. So the craft today, I've done 3 little examples from the pattern that you could get. I think I'm guide 14. So if you hop over to guide 14, you can still order this. All my stuff is made to order. So it's still available. And with this guide, we'll put it down here, you get the paints that I've used, the brushes that I've used, the supplies, some instructions here. I do pictures so you can follow along. Then there's a QR code and you can just scan and watch a video that will be up. So you can go through and pause me if I go too fast for you. And then of course the pattern. And what I have done here on mine is I have resized up and down my patterns. So this is the normal size. And if you order, there's 3 ways to order. You can get the PDF delivered to you digitally. You can get it just the wood blank. I don't have just the wood blank, but it's just this guy with the etched on the front. And then you can get both the wood blank and the physical pattern emailed to you, or sorry, shipped to you. So you can hop on, if you comment link, you'll go to my website because that's part of the links that I'm throwing at you guys. Also in those links, you get a free pattern for my Blooming Nomi tags. So, and then you have access to my free Facebook group where we do free painting, and everything is all in there. So comment link to get all of those sent directly to your inbox. But for the today, we're going to paint this. It's in the ugly stage, what I call the pimply teenager stage, because that's what happens when you're painting. But I resized it down to this. And you guys, I've never painted on rocks before. And we have train tracks right behind us. So I just went outside and grabbed a rock and painted on the roughest rock I could find. So that was interesting. It was fun. It really was fun. And then leather, I painted on a leather notebook. So you guys can see that there's many, many, many options that you can do your craft with a digital e-pattern. So a bunch of my people who follow me know that I like magic erasers. Let's see. Let me grab one. Also, I'm not perfect and I'm a hot mess because that's just who I am. So welcome to the club. I like magic erasers to paint my base coats, and I've already done it here. So this one is base coated. I base coated it with a magic eraser, and then I just went into the little portions with a brush. I like a magic eraser because it really gives, thank you. They are, let's pop them on and off. They're magnetic. So it's super fun. But I like the base coats that the magic eraser gives you. And you have to get, let me, if I can, you guys can see that better. You have to get the flat surface. I know magic eraser, you can get ridges, and there's like the bathroom scrubbers and things like that. Do not get that kind. get one that's a flat edge and then just slice it up. I think and once I slice it up, I get like 8 magic erasers out of one big one. So that's what I do with those. That's how I base coat. It's fast, it's quick, and not only am I a hot mess crafter, I'm a lazy crafter. So if I can find a shortcut, I'm going to find it and I'm totally going to use it. So let's see. I have my lists in front of me because I want to make sure I give you guys everything that's in my head. Dry time. If you are in a dry area, I'm in Idaho and we're transitioning. So technically Boise is high desert and it's dry. My skin feels it. My eyeballs are feeling it. But I use, if it's dry, if your paint's drying too fast, I use what they call a blending medium or retarder. I have put 1/3 of that in this squirt bottle with 2/3 water, and it's just the Deco Arts Traditions blending medium retarder in there. You can spray it on your paint, you can spray it on your piece, you can dip your brush in it, whatever works for you. So that's if you're in an area that's not humid and it's dry like me, then your paint doesn't stay open. And by open, I mean it doesn't stay wet. That is one little tip. You can use a wet palette. I think you can probably pick those up at like Michael's or something like that. And it has like a sponge underneath and you put your palette paper on the top and it keeps your paint wet that way. So that's another little trick to keep your paints wet. Let's see, what else do we got for you guys? Brushes I prefer angles. Angles are my friend. And if you watch my movements and stuff, I'm super dynamic and I'm moving and I kind of move in angles. So maybe that's why I like those. Rounds are nice. Filberts are the rounded edges like this. So those are fun for getting into smaller spaces that have rounds. We don't have much on the Sunflower. They're more pointy. Let's see. And brushes are personal preference. It is definitely like, you don't have to use what I use, you guys. Experiment, which is a big thing for me. I like trying new things. If I've never done something, I'm totally going to do it. And then I want to try it again. And if it fails, then we have something for the nailed it show, right? So with that, we'll go ahead. I'll pull my palette over here. I've already base coated my little guy here. We have done this base coat. I've mixed these two colors, peacock teal and warm white. And I've just wanted the peacock teal to be a little bit lighter. So that's why I mixed the white. I was going for like the blue ball mason jar look there. This is the Hauser light green. And I'm using all Deco Art colors, Americana. The base coat of the Sunflower is Sunny Day. And then the center is Burnt Umber. So it's been a hot minute since I painted this one. It's either Burnt Umber or it's Light Cinnamon. Don't quote me because I lie all the time too. So those, and the gray, the lid for the mason jar is gray. So it's slate gray on those ones. If you do get the kit, pay attention to the etch lines because I've painted the lid yellow already like 3 times. I'm like, dang it. So pay attention to the etch lines. And then if you trace it out onto a rock or a leather notebook or whatever your little heart desires, even a canvas. I mean, canvases, hello, that's like what we paint on all the time. So use those. I keep baby wipes handy because I'm messy. So if you hear me crinkling over here, it's because I'm grabbing a baby wipe. I also keep a rag handy because, again, I'm messy. And then we'll go ahead and get started. My little tip and trick on if you've never ever floated before, again, it's a matter of preference on the brush, but for floating, angles and flats are probably best. We're going to start with the petals because those will probably take the longest. And what I'm going to do, this is my palette right here. I brought it over. I have a clean water cup and then I have a dirty water cup and I'm trying to keep them out of view because I don't want you guys like staring in my dirty water because I'm just going to get my brush wet and we're going to put it right there for a minute. Dude, all my kids are grown and wipes are my best friends still. You never thought, as a parent, when you're a young parent, you're like, I'm going to get out of that stage, out of the diaper stage. I still buy wipes. I don't care. Says that just gets you. I cannot say that. Say that for me. Says that it's not coming out of my mouth. It's in my head, but it's not coming out of my mouth. But cool. Okay, so my brush is wet. I've put yellow ochre on here, and I'm just dipping the toe of my angle brush in here. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to go back and forth, and I'm blending on my palette. And what you see on your palette is what you're going to get on your surface. So make sure that it's not too blended or it's not blended enough. And then the next little fun little thing, and I'm going to move this out of the way because I'm a lefty and I'll stick my hand in it, is when you're using the shadows, shadows will go behind. So I'm going to come in here into this little tiny guy here, and we're just going to float right in here. And if I didn't like that, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use my finger. Fingers make great tools. So do fingernails. And that's why mine are always tore up. So if you like to have nice nails, don't use them as tools like me. But I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to make sure my entire brush is down, right? That way it's blending well enough while you're painting. And I'm just making a little like a V or like a cup look. So you can kind of see it's blending and it's coming up a little bit. And the shadows will set it back. So shading sets it back, highlighting brings it forward. So that's the fun little trick there. If you want something to be set back, shade it. And then if it starts drying out like it is over here, I should probably, let me spray with my medium blender here so that we'll come back over here. See how wet that got? That's too wet. That's the other trick. And here's the other thing, guys. I'm in the back of my husband's shop. We have an automotive shop. And I didn't have a sponge, but a regular dish sponge, like the blue sponges that you pick up from Walmart or wherever, will work great. This is not my trick. I learned it from Tracy Moreau, who I love watching. Like her talent is beyond no means. She's amazing. And so I'll watch her. And she mentioned at one point that if you just you can't see that. If you just kind of tap your brush on the sponge, it pulls enough water out of the brush, but still leaves it damp enough to where you can still float. That is probably the hardest part about painting, is learning the float techniques of it all. So now you're going to watch this side because it's still wet. It's going to blend even more. If I didn't want that, I'd have to wait for that side to dry and then come back over it. So we'll come right here. We'll set this one back. And I'm just kind of eyeballing, picking and choosing which ones I want to set back. Also, I'm like Amy Hoadley that I get quiet when I concentrate. I love sunflowers too. My now 25-year-old, we grew one. We lived out in the desert. I grew up in Southern California and we lived out in Borrego Desert. And it grew it was probably like 8 feet tall. It was super cool. And it was one of the kindergarten class projects that he brought home with him. And so he was young and he so loved watching that grow. Just coming in here, and anytime my brush dries out, I'll come back over. And don't be afraid to use both sides of your brush. We're still in the ugly teenager phase, and I keep hitting, let me see, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I keep hitting my microphone stand with my brush. It is MDF, Carolyn. It is cut on 3mm MDF. If you hop on my store, Huckleberry Gems, all my stuff is cut on 1/8" or 3mm MDF. And most of my kits are for tiered trays, and I add an adhesive backing to them so that you don't need glue on 95% of my tier. So you can see above my head. That's kind of what I do. but it's a peel and stick. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, because it's not well known in my space where I'm at in the crafty niche. Most people still use super glue. I hate super glue. I hate it, hate it, hate it because I am messy and I get it all over my fingers. And then it's there for weeks and it drives me crazy. It makes me feel like my fingers are cracking and I need lotion. And so I avoid, there's dog here. I avoid super glue as much as I can. Water. I'm using water to float. I did spray Deco Art Traditions blending medium retarder on my paint to keep it open because I'm in a dry area and it dries fast. I also, in most of my kits, if you follow me over there, I usually use about 20 colors. That's it. The hardest part about that for me is making Valentine's different from Christmas. But I love because I cater to the beginner painter. I love using just very minimal colors so that you guys can get your feet wet. You can be curious with it. You can experiment. You can try something new. And so in my group, I do have a PDF listed for all the colors that you get with my kits. And then my labels are colored. And so if you choose to order a kit from my website, you will get labels that are colored in the exact way that I would paint it with those colors. So if you're like, well, what color did she use? Hop over to my Facebook group. In the guides, you guys are familiar with guides. You will see PDFs that I've created for folk art and deco art Americana paints. Home Depot, I did my own custom color mix. Yes, Susan, yes. I did my own custom color mix, but they are weird and they can't give me the exact, like they just printed out the labels for me and they're like, here you go. So it was super hard for me to figure out how to share that. So I went and I physically color matched all of my colors with the Home Depot ones. And sorry if I'm a twister, so I will move my project around to make it work for me. And I probably should switch to a smaller brush at this point, but it is what it is. This is how we roll, guys. This is how I roll. Awesome. And see, that was too wet. So we'll get some of that off with my towel. If your brush is too wet, it'll leave lines on there. We'll just leave like a water line. That's not fun. See, Catherine, I still think it looks like a teenager, the little pimply teenager. All the painting has the ugly stage. Every one that we do, it always has the ugly stage. And I always second guess myself, going, oh, it's still ugly. What do I need to add to it? But it's just knowing. And I always recommend to beginners to start with gnomes because you can kind of, in your head, you know where light hits a face. You know where like things are set back, you know where things are highlighted. So when you're first starting, I think something like a flower or a gnome works great versus something super intricate and you're like, I don't know where all these shades go and I don't know where to highlight and all the fun things. Facebook user, I can't see your name, but with items on your website. So I do have a YouTube channel. There are specific to my subscription box, as I have a monthly box that I send out with two options. You have a tiered tray or you have the elevated essential box, which gives you shelf sitters and a bonus. And those have color guides to them. And it's basically like a coloring page for the kit so that you can plan your colors. And it lists all the colors that I use specifically for that piece. Yeah, so you feel my pain. So water, but for right now, I added the Deco Art Traditions Extender Medium blend. extender and blending medium. 1/3 of that to 2/3 water, and then I just spritz it on the top of my paint. But it is so that was the thing is like I struggled with floating and I'm like, why is it's horrible. I can't float. You guys, my paint wasn't staying open long enough because I thought I could be cool and like all the like experienced people use just the water in my area. It turns out not so much. It's too dry. Nope, I still can't see you. Go hop up there and give Facebook or StreamYard permission. Also, up there, you guys, in the comments, in the description of my video, I've linked the giveaway. So if you guys are not in the Jingle and Mingle group, hop over to the Jingle and Mingle group. And I'm in Boise, Melissa. And click on the description there. And that's where you can enter into the King Sumo giveaway there's a lot of prizes in there. I think it's over $1,000 right now from all of us. I'm just kind of eyeballing to see what's next. Also, I'm a fast crafter. I like fast crafts. When I was sewing for the grandkids, I love sewing clothes. That's what I love doing is clothes. And it's so fun to sew for the grandkids' clothes because they're quick and you can just be done really fast. And so it was always my go-to to sew the nightgowns that have the elastic on the bottom for the midnight diaper changes. Those are the best. So that was always my go-to gift. So see how quickly we just added some dimension to that. Just add some shading and we can pull in some highlighting. This one I went a little bit darker on. Let's see if I can keep these two in the same. Probably not because I'll twist around too much. Let's see. The magic eraser I use for base coating. Thank you, Denise. I use for base coating pretty much everything I do. I slice it up. I'll just grab them and make sure it's a flat one. You can't get the rigid ones because there's different ones for like the bathrooms or whatever. But I use it dry. I dip it in my paint and then I just base coat. Let's see. Where else should we go? Right here. See, dry already. Hey, Amy. I'm trying to keep up. These are I love the darker colors too. I'm a fall girl. So falls, I usually tend to lean towards fall colors a lot. I'm one of those weird people. You'll never see me in black. I'm probably the only girl in the whole world that does not have black in her wardrobe. Okay, so let's see. I want to make sure I'm on time. Okay, I have plenty of time, guys. We can add some more. We can move. Let's go to the green. I'm going to pop this in here. We'll grab the 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to grab my Hauser dark green, shake it up, pop it on my palette, and then we'll do some of the leaves right here to kind of pop those back. I'm going to spray my paint on my palette to keep it open. We're going to hit the microphone stand. We're going to get our brush wet. We're going to find our towel. And then just the toe, you guys, if you can, I don't know, I'll find the camera. You guys can't see, that's probably too dark, but it's only the toe right there has the paint. Don't put it on the whole brush. And then I'm just swiping back and forth over here. And then I'll come in here and just kind of pop my toe into the little crevices here and move the paint around until I'm happy with the shading. That's probably a lot of water there. Oh, yeah. I used to work for our state police and they were dark navy. And so I was okay with the dark navy, but black drove me. I don't like the way it makes me feel. Like my energy kind of gets drugged down. And I'm a hyper person as it is in the first place. So I've learned to live in the quiet world. But when I put on black, it just, I don't like it. But that's what my husband and the mechanic shop, that's what they wear. It's black and gray, which makes sense. They're not Les Schwab. I always wonder why Les Schwab wears white. Why would you put white on a mechanic? Hi, Donna. See, I'm trying to keep up. I want to make sure I get all these questions. Thanks, Terry. So, and you can always go lighter and then come back and darken it up. Because you can, it's like baking, right? You can always add more, but you can't take away. So always start lighter. And then you can always pull in to make the leaves look like they're actually moving, have some more dimension in them. This one's on my entire brush, but it's super watered down, and we can just pull in from here and kind of give it some streaks in the leaf. I don't know if you guys can see that from there, but it kind of gives a little bit of the streaks from the leaf. Thanks, Debbie. And we'll just dip back into the water. Kind of dip some of it off of your brush. And then we'll come to this side. Now I'm just trying to set these leaves back. That was probably too much. Let's come over. I just want to set the leaves back from the petals of the flowers. And make sure when you're floating, you have your whole brush, whether you're using a flat or an angle, on your piece. Because if you see, I'll show you. This is my fun piece. If I come in here, let's see if I can, well, I'll just lift it up. If I come in here and I'm only on the toe of my brush, I'm going to create lines. You see that? See that line right next to that petal? That's because I was on the toe of my brush and I was not using it to float. So come down here and just use your whole brush. And I tend to stick to one side. I need to be better about not using just one side of my brush, because then I waste half the paint that's on the other side, right? You guys are so welcome. I love sharing with everybody that I can. I also use, if you hop over, not now, but later, to my YouTube, I show you, there's another video up there, makeup sponges, the little white wedges. I show you how I shade and blend with those too. I find, as if you're a beginner, that it's a lot easier to use the makeup sponges and kind of blend. Let's see if there's something on here. I'm trying, I guess I could show you the outside of the, it won't make the mason jar like a mason jar, but I can show you what I mean. Let's see if I have one. Practice. That's all it takes, you guys. Just practice. I'm looking in my drawer for a makeup sponge, and of course, I don't have one. Do I have one in my cart? No, that would be a no. But yeah, just grab a makeup sponge. I can kind of give you an idea. I wouldn't do it with a magic eraser because it's not going to be the same. So makeup sponge, I would do this. I would put two sides of the paint on there, and then I would come in here and I would just dab, dab, dab until they're blended and they will blend together. And then I would come in here. So for example, on this side with the makeup sponge, I would use whatever I'm trying to highlight. So if I'm trying to put some white edging around the blue would be on this side and the white would be over here. And then you would just dab, dab, dab. But I show you that on my YouTube channel. Is the sponge wet with what? No, my makeup sponge, well, both actually. If I use it to blend, it's just paint. And then my magic eraser, totally dry. I just want to make sure I catch all the questions. You guys are so awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's see. What else do we want? Oh, do we want to add some more? Let's give some more shading to this guy down here because he's pretty big. My graphite paper is coming out of my drawer now. Put that away. Okay, so we'll just come down here. Just give it some dimension, just quick swipes. And then we'll come in here and highlight that, and that'll kind of give it a little curve to it. I just want to make sure. Okay. I'm trying to be quick. So this one, I wanted them in the grooves, Mo, but to keep them out, the makeup sponge, not the magic eraser, but the makeup sponge and very, very light coats. And it's a light hand. So a lot of mine above me, if you can see, they have the engraved, like I engraved, some of them have engraved words on them. And to keep them out, the paint out of it, I use the makeup sponge. Or I just get lazy and just use the magic eraser and don't care what my project looks like. Just don't judge me because I'm fast crafter. How I roll. Okay, did we get all the gray? Well, let's do this side. Again, I like the fast crafts. I like, the kids' clothes because they sewed up like that. I like the small pieces like this because then I feel the accomplishment that I've done something and that I can share something that I love. Thank you, Donna. All right, so to add some highlights, I'm using the citron green. We're just going to get it out of the bottle first. We're going to grab just a little mop brush. It's a softy one, but it's dry. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to dip it in here, and I'm pretty much going to take all of the paint off. And I'll test it on my hand. You guys can't see that. I can see that, but there's barely any paint on there. So to add some highlight to that, we're just going to come in here and we're going to go back and forth. See, that was too much for me right there already, but gradually in layers, just kind of swipe with the dry brush. It's not wet until you're satisfied with it. And if it's not dark enough, go back into your paint, get it off, test it on your hand or white paper towel. And that kind of gives it a little bit of a curveness to it. I'll kind of exaggerate it a little bit for you guys so you can see it better because sometimes the camera doesn't show what I want it to. So you can kind of see the highlight, and then I would come back in here and make this a little bit darker. And that gives it a little bit of a roundness to the flower or to the leaf. And come in here and do that with these ones. It's just a dry brush. And if you want more, then add more, but start with a light hand, you guys. Yeah, shading and highlight. It's a matter of practice, Stephanie. You just got to dive in. Like that's my thing. Just dive in and try it. Sure, I'm totally going to screw it up because there's some things I've not. The painting world is vast, and it's specific to you. Like when you're painting, you can already tell like this is not going to look the same. I painted this. I painted this. They're not going to be the same project. They're going to be totally different. So don't be afraid to test and try and experiment and play. Like that's my big thing, play. I think we lose that as adults. We lose the play and we become afraid of the judgment of the outer world. And I don't want that for anybody who wants to experiment and try something new. I want you to feel confident enough to actually try it. So just practice, just keep going. Sometimes the camera does not pick up my colors for you guys. And see that I didn't like the blend, so I'll come in here with my finger and just blend it. Yes. It's MK. I'm assuming that you have a longer name, but there's it's amazing too. There is it's called Neon North End Organic Nursery here in Boise, and it's a nursery, but upstairs they have it's like a Goodwill, but it's for crafts only, and they have so many of the old magazines. I walked in there and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was just totally transported to 1980." It was so fun. I love it. Yeah, it's so true, Donna, so true, and that's my thing is, like, I don't want you guys to be afraid of what everybody else is gonna think about your craft. It's yours. It's 100% yours, and if you're in my group, then that's what we do. We lift each other up. I don't want anybody coming in there because most of my girls are beginners, and I want you to experiment and play, and so if somebody negative Nelly comes in there, I'm quit, like, "You're out. I don't play that game." So we're going to come in here. I'm not going to do much shading to the stem because we kind of want it to look like it's in the water. Facebook user I can't see, but I'm in Boise. Haha. Is it warm up there yet, April? We're supposed to be nice and warm this weekend, but we're having our what they call our fake spring. You never know what kind of weather you're going to get. Whether, I mean, like 2 days ago, it snowed. Nice. What part of Boise? It's expanded, like, Meridian is right on top of Eagle, on top of Nampa, it's all just merged together lately. Okay, now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add some highlights to the front. We'll dry brush it. You can do the same technique with the shading and the floating for highlights as you can like I'm doing with the shading. I just choose to dry brush. Fake spring in Southern Oregon, yes. 73. Oh, I wish. Yeah, eventually, like, and I want it to be it's sort of kind of still in an ugly teenager stage. Like I said, it's totally different from that one. This one I spent like 2 hours on. That's why I'm doing it quick over here. Oh, 57. That's nice. It's not. See, I still think it's like the little pimply stage. I've got a couple of those kids at home still. All right. So do we want to add some highlight to, let's go with, I base coated with Sunny Days. So we'll pop in with some primary yellow and add some of that to the petals. And I'm not even washing my brush. I'm literally just dipping right into the yellow. We're going to wipe it off. Check it on our hand. Need a little bit more. And then you just come in here, kind of give it some color. Don't forget, if you want the free blooming gnome tags, my spring giveaway that I do, I usually change up one once a quarter. Comment link in down below, and it will Messenger will automatically send it to your DMs. Okay, so for picking colors, they're over there. I'll grab them in a second. I have these really nifty cubes. That's actually I ran a poll in my membership. They don't know what they're getting, but I asked them what colors. And so I gave them the choice. And I don't know, I honestly don't remember the name. I'll have to look it up. So if you want me to remember, you'll have to message me. But let me grab them because they're really, really cool. Hold on. Okay, so because I like to play in Procreate as well, so I'll play and paint actually in Procreate, and these are the fun little cubes, and she doesn't even have her name on the box anywhere, but this is how I'll pick. Oh, there you go. There it is. Sarah Renee Clark. So these are amazing. So we'll just pull out. So she's got all the colors on the front, and then on the back, you can kind of like match them up. So this can be used for so many things, not just paint. And it gives you the hex codes and everything to them. So that's kind of how I pick colors. I pulled from 4, and like I said, I asked my membership group, what's your favorite palette? And so they gave me that, but they have no idea what it's for. They're so fun. I love the cubes. Love, love, love them. Okay. Make sure. Okay, we're gonna move on because I got like 15 minutes left. So we're gonna do the center. And this one I literally just mixed. So it's base coated with burnt umber. And then I just mixed light cinnamon and red spice, and I tossed some yellow in there. But I use those cubes for digital painting because I love, again, experimenting and trying new things. And I've used Procreate for years. And so I'm just play around in it. Dry brushing, same thing. We're just going to come over here and we're going to stipple, which is just tapping right around up here to kind of give it a little bit more. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I'll just pop into the other color. So I'm mixing colors now. We're just going back and forth. Let me see if I can bring you in. I'm just going to pop in here and I'm going to pop in here, and then we'll just start mixing. And if you don't like how it's behaving, just come in here, use your finger, tone it down. Procreate's so fun. I love Procreate. And the best thing is, if you mess up, you just tap it with 2 fingers. Bam, gone. Fixed. So that's usually where I go to first to play with patterns and colors and things. And then I'll bring it to the cube is, and then I'll bring it to all of you guys. The cube is, it's called Color Cube, and it's by Sarah Renee Clark. I don't have a link for her, so you'll have to Google. So now I'm going to dip into the yellow. And just stipple away to kind of give this some, like the sun is coming from this angle, and giving it a little bit highlight there. I would, looking at it now, I'd probably go in and add some more shadows around here to kind of push the center of the flower back. We can do that. Let's see, we got like 15 minutes. Let's see if we'll play nice with us. And I'm going to dip into the light cinnamon. And we'll just quickly kind of, that was too much, but come over here and go around. And put some more, little tiny bit of water on my brush. See how quickly that dried. It's the downside. So I envy some of you guys who live in like southern hemisphere areas or southern states to where you guys have the humidity. It's so dry here. Put some more water on there. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for sharing that link. Yeah, she's got 2 cubes, and then you can do it digitally too. She's got some PDFs, some interactive PDFs where they're the same colors. But that's my first go-to to pick colors. Thank you. Yes, play, play, play. You guys, I can't express that enough. We lose that. We lose it as adults. We lose it when we become parents. We lose it because of the judgment of the world. We just lose all of that. And that's bring it back. Have fun. These, yes, are their acrylic brushes. They are I'm gonna butcher her last name. Chris Howe on YouTube. I like her brushes. I like how she paints too, so I follow her. Need more time. I wish I had more time too. Let's be honest. Thank you, Kim. Alabama. Ah, I've never been over there. I think the farthest I was below you, Oklahoma. That's the farthest I've been. Debbie, so that's the best part about my actual kits, like the ones that you see behind me. Those ones I have 20 colors. They're sitting over here. You can't see them. And then you get them in a colored label. I don't think I have any with me either because, I came so prepared. But you get them on a colored label. And then so you can go hop on my Facebook group and go into the guides there. And it will tell you exactly what color from deco art to folk art that I used for that kit. So you don't have to worry about picking for those ones. Yeah, Arizona's dry. I just want to make sure I have everybody. I don't want to miss everybody. I've never been to Virginia. I hear you guys. I want to go because there's some amazing museums over in that area, and I'm a museum buff. I was raised by a teacher, so like learning is so fun to me. Okay, let's shade really quick. Wherever soft black, we're gonna do the lid. Push that back a little bit. I'm just gonna grab the 1/4 inch. Yeah, see, so all you dry guys use it's the blending medium. It's deco art. Josana's makes some. Water is helpful, but I'm finding that water's not enough for me. Ah, we have another Alabama person. We have college football. We don't have anything else. If you guys find, like I mentioned earlier, that if it's not dry, you'll still be able to move your paint. So in the little areas like this, you want to wait for it to dry or grab a quick, like I have a dryer over there. It's a little craft dryer if you don't want your float to move. Again, I don't strive for perfection. Sadly, no, I don't ship to Canada, only the US, continental US, just because in all honesty, it's because I don't want to deal with customs. Our US Postal Service is horrible enough. I don't want to deal with customs too. Sorry. Chris, and again, I how on Face our YouTube. Find her on YouTube. She has CD Wood as her website, and that's where you'll find her brushes. I think if I want to go darker, I'm going to rinse that one off. We can go. See, this is me experimenting because I haven't done, well, I guess I did do it, but I used a different color. So we're just going to go with teal, which is peacock tail. But this I mixed with white, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. It might blend too well, so we'll find out. Oh, 8 minutes, guys. So Melissa is after me, or Marissa is after me, and she is going to teach tumblers. I haven't seen her amazing stuff yet, so we're gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out after and watch what she does for us. But I know she does some amazing tumbler magic. So we're gonna hang out and watch her after. Then we've got Panhandle, Florida. Yes, Florida's so humid. Then we go through 5 o'clock today, you guys. See, unprepared. Let me, who else is with me on here can show us what our, I'm coming over to Facebook to see if I can find our schedule. So Sayers and Co's, Marissa's after me. Then Miss Tracy's back for her second portion. And then we have X Live Life and then Southern Adornments. So those are the ones who are after me. And thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, each step does add to the flower, Betty. And I could keep going. So, but those are the ones who are left today. So hop on, join them, see what they have to offer. I know if you want more painting. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Southern Adornments is a good one. She's fun. She is more whimsical, and it's all door hangers, and so it's large. And I love watching her paint. She's fun too. Miss Tracy Creates has the Napkin Club. She was working on the birdhouse, and that was really cool. I liked watching that too. But the other two, join them. And again, if you haven't commented link, that's where you'll get the Blooming Nomies tag. They are, it's a free pattern, just like the sunflower pattern here. If you haven't ordered the kit, I'm guide 14. But the Blooming Nomi tags are free for you. Just enter your email and it will be emailed to you right away. And then there's other links in there. There's my membership. I have a membership where we paint 2 crafts, 2 of these a month. And then the subscription box. And this is actually this behind me. That's not the entire box. That is the Elevated Essential, but it's not the entire box. And that is actually being shipped out right now. And so if you want to join for that, with those, the kits on my website, I don't use glue. I hate glue. I hate super glue. Some of them, yes, you'll have to use glue because there's just no way that I can figure out how to cut them on the laser without using it. So those ones, like the stands, the A-frame, I don't have it behind me, but the A-frame is a pretty popular one. That one you'll have to use glue. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, my Facebook group. If you join us in my Facebook group, we do crafting. I do a free paint class every month. So hop on over to my Facebook group. This, you can't see, this was the one that I have in there. We painted this month. So that's in there right now. And you'll get all those links. If you just comment link, they'll be DM'd to your messenger. But you have to be on Facebook because I'm streaming to YouTube as well. So you have to be on Facebook for that. But those are just my quick little tips for shading, highlighting, adding layers to your flower. Again, if you've bought the pattern in any form, you have a QR code in the back that goes through in more detail. And the video goes into more detail and you can watch me paint it. You can pause, you can speed up, you can paint with me, slow me down, all of those fun little options that you have. And then that way will help you through if you're learning. I expect most of you guys are having fun and learning, but it will help you with the techniques. It will help you grow as a crafter, as a painter, as an artiste itself. Thank you, Carol. But those are my big ones. So what else, you guys? We have 4 minutes. And I want to be able to answer the questions that I can while we're here. I will come back and go through the comments as well to make sure that I can get everybody's. But I'll just put these guys right in front of you so you guys can be reminded that you don't have to stick with just the wood surface. You can paint on anything that will hold paint. Yes, thank you, Deborah. So with any of the digital patterns in my shop, you can upsize, you can downsize. Like I said, we have a railroad right behind us. And so I just went really quick and grabbed the roughest rock that I could. Um, thank you. That's our state fruit. So that's why and we're the gem state. So that was the whole purpose of the name, is the state fruit and the gem state. So huckleberry gems. And I honestly, it's just perfect fit. So I couldn't ask for anything more. But yeah, so you can, yeah, paint on, this is leather. Then you have the ugly rock that I totally had fun with. And I traced this onto tissue paper and then put the tissue paper on the rock and then painted from there. So that's a little technique there. And then of course you can paint on wood, you can paint on tin, you can paint on fabric, you can paint on pretty much anything that will hold paint. You might have to do some prep work beforehand, but if you can paint on it, you can use the digital patterns to paint. So don't be afraid of it. That's my goal, is to make sure that you guys come back to the joy that we had as children, the curiosity. That's you can't see it, but it's right behind my head. I want to inspire curiosity. So that is the whole reason why I'm here and why I love sharing what I do. And hopefully you come join me on my Facebook group. So once again, comment link before. You'll get all the links down below. If you comment, then it will go to your DMs. You'll get the free Blooming Gnomes pattern. You'll get the link to my Facebook group, to my shop, to my subscription box, to my membership, all that fun stuff. But you guys have a minute left to hurry, go potty, grab a drink, and then come back. And we're going to see what Marissa has for us and learn from her. So thanks, ladies. Have a wonderful day.